I'm so used to my needs not being met, or I'm so used to compulsively performing masculinity. The issue is that you do not want to be seen as incompetent. You are engaging in people-pleasing behaviors. We begin isolating little black boys very early. We believe that's what makes them a man. If you already know that this little black boy is going to have to face this from the world, why would you replicate that trauma in your house? Why would you not make your home a place of safety? We believe that the pinnacle of masculinity is us being able to carry any weight for any distance without having to say anything about it. Right? A number of us as black men perpetuate self-neglect by telling that lie, right? We negotiate our self-worth when we tell that lie. We invalidate, we self-betray when we tell that lie. Right? Because what I believe that the underpinning of that response is, once again, I'm so used to my needs not being met, or I'm so used to compulsively performing masculinity in such a way where I have to present as strong, I have to present as put together, I have to present as these things, that if somebody were to ask me, do I need something, I'm supposed to say no. I'm supposed to, no, bro, that's a fucking lie. Like, you know you not cool, you know you not good. Oh, what's talking about it gonna do? Talking about it not gonna fix it. External processing is one of the most effective ways to problem solve. External processing is one of the most effective ways to problem solve. Whether you are doing a math problem, whether you are brainstorming, whether you are attempting to figure out a business plan, once again, external processing is one of the most effective ways to problem solve. The issue is that you do not want to be seen as incompetent. You don't want to be seen as not valuable. You don't want to be seen as somebody who cannot do. Once again, you are engaging in people-pleasing behaviors.
I want to talk to you about what ends up happening when we don't externally process, when we don't talk about it. The vices that we end up engaging in.
Oh yeah.
What are those?
So I just got through working at a mental health and wellness and substance abuse hospital.
Okay.
And I am very gifted at doing groups, as you know, right?
That's a fact.
There we go.
Got a group inside of Safe Haven, by the way.
Check it out. Yeah. Shameless plugs out to this dick.
All I'm saying.
You feel me?
You want to do this work.
We don't just talk about the problems, we provide solutions.
That's a fact. Odi,
you feel me?
Odi is in Safe Haven.
You feel me? First and third Tuesday of the month. You feel me? Come slide. But yeah.
Third, come get this work.
You feel me?
Go ahead, my brother.
So the common theme of folks who struggle with substance use is abuse, neglect, harm, or they call it boredom, but what it really is that it is an inability to regulate without being stimulated, right? A number of men have experienced, they call them adverse childhood experiences, right? ACEs.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. So for those of you all who are not aware, the ACEs are, once again, abuse, harm, neglect, a parent in the house who has an undiagnosed mental health disorder, a parent in the house who utilizes substances or is abusing substances themselves, a divorce, a parent who has gone to prison, a parent, seeing a parent being abused and experiencing interpersonal domestic abuse within the household overall, right? When I have done these groups at the hospital and we run down the ACEs, very few people put their hand down before 5 of these things. So that's half of the list, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one layer. The second layer is the way in which we discuss adultifying black boys The point at which we begin having the conversation of adultification is when we begin exposing them to the neglect, the harm, and abuse that we experience as black men that we believe made us better men.
Ooh, say that again.
The point at which we begin having conversations around adultifying little black boys is the point at which we begin exposing them to the same abuse, harm, and neglect that we experience as black men that makes us makes us believe that it made us better black men, right?
What does that look like?
Withholding affirmation.
Okay.
Invalidating emotional responses. Exposing them to physical violence. Hypersexualizing them. And that's one that we do not talk about often, right? Identifying and engaging with them from the perspective of your worth is now tied to what it is that you do and how well you do it, right? This adultification of young black boys can happen as early as 8, 9, or 10. When we look at it from the perspective of trauma, so Dr. Gabor Mate, I love his work, and he is a physician that works specifically in spaces of child development and addiction. He said that there are 2 types of trauma. One trauma is acute trauma. It's when things happen to you that were not supposed to happen to you, right? That's the trauma that we're most familiar with. Then there's developmental trauma, and developmental trauma is when things that were supposed to happen to you did not.
Okay.
Right? So the affirmation, the love, the security, all of these things, when they were supposed to happen, they did not. So the presence of pain, but also the absence of comfort causes trauma.
Okay.
The presence of harm, but the absence of stability causes trauma.
Right.
The presence of injury, but the absence of medication, the absence of healing, the absence of attending to that pain, that trauma, that harm also causes trauma, right? We, with little black boys, begin removing that element of, yo, come here, let me give you a hug, let me help you co-regulate, we begin isolating little black boys very early because once again, we believe that's what makes them a man. We believe that isolation, we believe that you gotta learn, the world is not gonna treat you well, so I'm not gonna treat you well. The world is not gonna give you this, so I'm not gonna give you this, right? If you take that, I just want you to hear when I say this, Kizzle. When you take that and you invert it, that is the reason why so many men complain about having to deal with the world and wanting to come home and not have to deal with that. Because from a very early age, their homes were not safe for them because their homes thought that they were doing them a favor and attempting to prepare them for the world outside. If you already know that this little black boy is going to have to face this from the world, why would you replicate that trauma in your house? Why would you replicate the trauma in your house? If you know that the world is already going to be his boot camp, his war, his battlefield, why would you not make your house an infirmary? Why would you not make your home a place of safety?
Because they're saying, and this is not me, their rebuttal, and I know you know the rebuttal, is I got to prepare him for the world.
Right. You have to prepare him for the world, but you're also sending him into the world incomplete. You're also sending him you are also sending him into the world without love. You are also sending him into the world without support. You're also sending him into the world missing these neurotransmitters that substances fill.
Right.
Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. You get dopamine from being not only just completing tasks, but feeling as if though this completion of this task has made you feel worthy, right? It's dopamine. Serotonin. You get serotonin from engaging with community. You get oxytocin from physical contact with that community, right? I'm gonna start hugging you. I'm gonna stop affirming you. And I'm only going to identify what you didn't do and not what you did.
Deficit model.
Deficit model, right? So what else is going to fill this hole besides these substances that replicate the neurotransmitters that I should have got when I was younger? Each and every person outside, I'm not going to say each and every person, the large majority of my clients at the hospital started using substances when they were very early in life, between the ages of 7 and 13. I've said constantly that with young Black men, we tend to abandon them between the ages of 8 and 15. We tend to abandon them between the ages of 8 and 15. And when I say abandon, I literally mean step back and allow them to be harmed and allow them to be assaulted, allow them to, we genuinely throw them to the wolves. And if you come back, you're a better man. If you didn't, we don't know what to do, right? The lack of resources between 8 and 15, the amount of increased aggression, we tend to perceive adolescent Black boys growing into young Black men as problems to be fixed instead of people to be hurt. And that is what I mean when I say abandoned, right? I don't care why you mad. I don't care why you upset. Your anger don't mean nothing. The invalidation, the emotional abandonment begins between the ages of 8 and 16. So it is not unusual that substance abuse also begins in this same space. I had a client who raised her hand and she said, it's hard for me to perceive that my substance use is because of some trauma, this, that, and the third. I was just bored. I said, okay. I was just curious. I said, okay. You were curious because you perceived that the people who were using the substances had some type of emotional happiness or some type of something that you did not have. You went to go seek the same euphoria that they did not have because there was something that you saw that you lacked. You put down that trauma and you picked up that substance. You believe that you put down that lack and you pick up that substance. But the reality of the situation is you can't put a bandage on a gash because it's going to continue to bleed. You cannot put a bandage on a gash. You have to sew it up. You need a suture, right? But once again, if you as a man have been taught that your battle scars are what make you a man, why would I heal this?
All right.
If you have been taught that the way that you deal with your, man, I seen a reel and somebody was like, we don't need more therapists. We just need to be strong like our ancestors were. I was like, first of all, the reason why the crack epidemics did so much damage to the Black community is because the Black community was in a perpetual state of trauma. That's why that happened. Sincerely. That's number one. Number two, your father drank, your mother drank, your grandfather drank, your grandmother drank, you come from a family of alcoholics, and you believe that their alcoholism has absolutely nothing to do with their inability to regulate their anxiety, foolish. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant, and it is also an analgesic. It is literally designed to reduce my response to the environment and also to numb the pain. Cocaine is a central nervous system, I can never, stimulant.
Okay.
Right? This will give me enough energy to run away from whatever it is that I'm trying to escape. It will take me away from where it is that I am right at this moment in time. Or it'll give me the energy to dance, sing, jump, hop, skip, so that for this moment in time, I can forget what it is that I'm experiencing. The correlation between substance abuse, trauma, and the lack of emotional presence is based upon the neurotransmitters that you are attempting to replace from some of the things that you experienced that created that lack.
So then how do we navigate away from that?
That's a very interesting question, because if we think of substance abuse in the context of self-medication, the medication treats the symptom and not the cause.
Okay.
Right? You have to address the cause. You have to address the cause. Why are you using your substance of choice? What pain are you attempting to remove yourself from? What reality are you attempting to shift or alter that you don't feel like you have the power to actually shift or alter in real time? What stress are you attempting to remove from yourself, right? I do another group in Philly with some young boys. They really the Kia boys. We gonna keep that on the low, right? So these youngins, a number of them utilize substances in order to self-medicate. A number of them have also lost friends and or family to gun violence. So when we were having a conversation, I said to him, I said, yo, do any of y'all have issues sleeping? Do any of y'all wake up in the morning with a knot in your stomach? Do any of y'all feel agitated or overwhelmed a lot? That's why you smoke weed. That's why. Because you don't like feeling that discomfort. You smoke weed because it's better than you constantly getting into fights. But the reason why you constantly get into fights is because you are overstimulated, you are overwhelmed, you are angry. But the reason why you are overstimulated, overwhelmed, and angry is because you are in environments that do not allow you that reprieve. You are in environments that do not allow you to breathe. You are in environments that do not allow you to have that ability to heal. Why? Because this environment is consistently engaging in those traumas. It's very difficult to heal a wound that keeps getting ripped open. But each time you rip open this wound, I need something that's going to reduce the pain of this wound being ripped open over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm going to reach for an analgesic. I'm going to reach for a mind-altering substance. I'm going to reach for something that's going to remove me from this.
Before we get back into the rest of the episode, it is that time of the year again. What do I mean by that time of the year? What I mean is, it is the time of the year when you are around more family because of the holidays. So there's more family drama, there's more triggers, there's more opportunities for you to experience pain, trauma, and all of the different things that you normally don't have to experience throughout the rest of the year. And so with that comes heightened levels of anxiety, heightened levels of depression, seasonal depression, all these different kind of things that we experience as human beings. And so it's very, very important that you're taking care of yourself. And one of the ways in which you can do that is join our webinar on November 22nd and 29th. Those are both Saturdays. We do that on purpose to make sure that you don't have work, hopefully. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we are hosting a free webinar teaching you and your loved ones how to find a dope Black therapist. We do this every year. Every year we have hundreds or thousands of people actually that register, that attend, and that find information that helps them to find a Black therapist that can change their life. At Express Yourself Black Man, we're all about being proactive instead of reactive. If there's something that you're going through right now that you know a therapist can help you with, join the webinar. If you don't even think you need anything from a therapist, still join the webinar because a therapist can only help to elevate your life. So with that being said, please sign up. Go to expressyourselfblackman.com/links. The webinar link will be there for you to join. It is a free webinar. Even if you cannot attend on those days, you should still RSVP because we will be sending the recording to everybody that RSVPs to the webinar. So go to expressyourselfblackman.com/links and sign up to make sure that you reserve your spot because we have a limited amount of spots and we always get thousands of people that sign up every year. With that being said, let's get back to the rest of the episode. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace. You speaking right now, bro. And I hope this segment of the podcast, I hope this segment is sent to someone, from someone that knows that that person is dealing with some substance use problems. Because I have a friend that I'm thinking of right now, and I need to have a conversation with him. Every single time I look at this guy's story on Instagram, at least 90% of the time, I know it's going to have an alcoholic beverage in it. Mm-hmm. And it bothers me, bro. Not going to lie to you. It bothers me because it's somebody that I love and I care about deeply. And I don't think he's had the realization that he is an alcoholic. Mm. And I'm struggling with how do I even, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm someone I'm very like, once I see something that's a problem, I have to have the conversation with you if you're my mans. Mm-hmm. I can't love you, but then watch you tear yourself apart. Mm-hmm. That's not love. But at the same time, I also know part of the healing journey is allowing people to get to the point where they're able to acknowledge where they are and what problems they have and what vices they're engaging in. So this is coming from a personal perspective. Like, I didn't even have this in the script. Like, I'm just, now that I'm thinking about it, I wanted to ask you, is there any route that I could take if I'm someone that loves someone that's going through a substance use problem and they haven't identified that they have a substance use problem? Is there a route that I can take to help them with that?
I'm going to give you two answers to this.
Okay.
You can put a mirror in front of somebody, but you can't force them to look in it. Bring them the mirror, put it in front of them, and give them time to come back to that mirror.
I got you.
All right? You can generate the awareness. You can have the conversation. Bro, I'm really concerned about your substance use. I'm really concerned about what's going on. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to judge you, X, Y, Z, because I have a friend as well. And we almost lost him to an overdose. And when he came out of the overdose, he was like, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, sure, what's up?" He was like, "If you saw me using the amount of substance that I was using, why didn't you say anything?" I'm not gonna lie, I had asked myself that same question when he was in a coma. And I gave him the most honest answer that I could give him. I said, I didn't want you to think that I was judging you. I didn't want you to think that I thought less of you because I saw you struggling. And that withholding almost cost him his life.
Right.
But once again, I also did not want him to think that I believed that he was somehow incompetent.
Right.
Or somehow unable to manage himself, or somehow unaware of his own utilization. But once again, that withholding almost cost him his life. All right? So once again, place the mirror, give them time to come back to the mirror. That's number one. Number two, referencing Dr. Gabor Mate again. Dr. Gabor Mate said there's 3 ways that you deal with somebody in your family who has an addiction problem. Number 1, you say to them, I acknowledge what it is that you are going through. I am empathetic of it. I am non-judgmental, but I cannot be in proximity of you while you're going through this. I cannot be here with you to walk you through this, right? The second way is I see what it is that you are experiencing. I acknowledge it. I am empathetic to it. And I have the capacity to walk with you on this journey. The third way, and this is the most foolish way, is to attempt to shame, guilt, cajole, or force them to change their behavior. Because once again, that shame, that guilt, that cajoling, and that forcing was probably what pushed them to begin the behavior in the first place. And once again, working with the clients at the hospital, that's fair. Whenever they would get on the phone with their families, or whenever they would get on the phone with their significant others, we could always tell when it was a bad conversation because they would become dysregulated. At that point of dysregulation, they would then verbalize the most amount of craving for their substance. Because you are the two emotions that a number of persons with substance abuse issues deal with, the two largest emotions, are shame and guilt. Shame is of the person, guilt is of the behavior, right? I feel guilty for the things that I've done. I feel shame because of who it is that I think I am, right? So going back to the entire conversation that we've been having, I have a low self-worth. I don't believe that I deserve these things. I don't believe that I don't believe that I'll be any better than what it is that I am right at this moment in time. I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm all of these things. I can just make them go away by utilizing these substances. I don't have to think about these things. If I can't remember last night, I definitely can't remember what it is that I was thinking before I started drinking. Right? I am attempting to self-medicate to a point where I no longer feel this pain. But because the pain is ever present and your body adapts to the amount of substance that you use, you consistently have to use more.
Right.
Right? So instead of learning how to tolerate the pain, learn how to tolerate the substance. And that's detrimental.
Man, and it's so scary, bro, because this is a funny story. But at the same time, it's not funny. So we're out, me and the guys, we're all together. I don't really drink like that. So anything I drink, especially if it's hard liquor, I'm out, brother. You ain't got to give me too much, right? So I don't even know what the name of the drink is. I don't want to glorify drinks or anything like that, so I'm not even going to say the name of the drink. We're all sharing a drink. It's like probably like 9 of us, 9 to 12 of us. Drink is poured, everybody gets a drink, right? I drink my drink, and my friend drinks his drink, and all my other friends drink their drink, right? After I drank my drink, I was like, yo, y'all good? Everybody good? Cause I was like, oh, yo, I'm not gonna lie, Odi. I was like, you, again, funk flex me. Say, yo, when the hell?
When the hell the face start moving?
Yeah, I said, when the hell I start noticing that the earth is spinning? Bro, I swear to you. We get in the car, right, because we going somewhere. I'm like, bro, now I'm coming back to myself. I'm like, bro, you driving? Because, again, funk flex me. I'm thinking everybody moving like this. My man's is good. Like, he's good. That's when I really started to get concerned, because we started having a conversation. He like, yeah, bro, that don't even really affect me no more. I got to drink a lot for me to get to that point. I was like, oh. So again, very funny, because it's like, yo, my room is spinning, your room is chill. Again, call me lightweight, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, if we both drink the same drink, I understand body composition is different, how people handle liquor is different. I get it. I understand it. But what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is that if you know that it takes you multiple drinks, and at one point it didn't take you that, you may need to chill out. Perfect way I put it, because this applies to everything in life. I did a sugar fast like 2-3 months ago. By a sugar fast, I mean, I didn't eat anything that had a serving size of more than 6 grams of sugar in it. A lot of things have more than 6 grams of sugar.
A lot of things, brother.
So I wasn't no syrup. I'm talking no bananas, no fruits, no juice, nothing, right?
Mans was eating
I was
air and water.
I was literally water, chicken, rice, meats, vegetables. Pretty much was my diet. Having salads for lunch, for breakfast, basically, right? So I'm saying this to say, after I got off that sugar fast, I had sugar for the first time, and I was like, damn, sweet. But I'm like, wait a minute. I used to drink this whole thing. Like, I started realizing my sugar tolerance was a lot higher because I was consuming a lot more sugar. So I say that to say, bro, this goes for anything. You got to take certain fasts, take moments of reprieve off of it, because your body will build a tolerance to it to a point where you'll need so much more than what you originally needed. Now, when I consume sugar, I'm like, yo, this is a lot sweeter than I thought it was. I can't even drink certain drinks that I used to drink completely anymore because it's like, damn, this is so sweet. So same thing with the alcohol, same thing with the weed, same thing with whatever it is. I'm not trying to condemn these things.
Food, weed, pornography, all of these things are processed through the same part of the brain. All of them. Your brain cannot discern a pleasurable experience based upon what that pleasurable experience is. It just identifies it as a pleasurable experience. Because our brains are wired to go either towards something that is advantageous or avoid something that is dangerous, we are attracted to or aversive from, right? The way in which our brain processes these pleasurable experiences is not just this is a pleasurable experience. It's this is a pleasurable experience and I want more of it.
Right.
Right? So even if we're talking about, if we were to contextualize sex as a substance, it does the same thing to your brain. Thing. If we were to contextualize pornography as a substance, it's the same thing. There are two types of addictions. You have a substance addiction, you have a process addiction, right? A substance addiction is what we're more familiar with, but a process addiction is a process that does not involve substances that still fires the same neurotransmitters into the brain. So sex, shopping, gambling, pornography, all of these things are processes by which we obtain pleasure. And our brain, especially, once again, going back to what it is that we said earlier, for people who are starving, breadcrumbs are sustenance, right? If I am starving for these neurotransmitters, if I'm starving for these experiences, if I'm starving for not necessarily pleasure, but for the feeling of calm, for the feeling of peace, for the feeling of happiness, for the feelings of joy, for the feelings of all of these different things, where when we as men begin experiencing or expressing these things, once again, our masculinity is questioned. Right? These are things that are easily replicated by neurotransmitters that can be found in things that are stereotypically more masculine. Drinking, smoking weed, fucking. These are socially acceptable ways for men to obtain these neurotransmitters, but they are also some of the most destructive entities that you can engage in if you are not responsible.
All right, I'm interrupting this podcast episode to let you guys know to leave a review on the podcast. Please, 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 if you are listening to this episode and you're finding value in this episode, you're enjoying the conversation, or you've enjoyed a previous episode or conversation, and it's safe to operate your phone right now, please leave us a review. Your review is a free and easy way to support us, and it helps us reach more people like you. We're on a mission to build a stronger, more connected Black community, starting with Black men. And you can help us on that mission by taking a minute out of your day to leave a review. Your review helps us generate more listeners, which in turn generates more revenue, allowing us to expand the platform even further. So please take a few seconds out of your day. I know you're busy. I understand. I know you're doing a lot, but it will help us greatly if you would just take a few seconds out of your day to leave a review right now. Did you leave a review yet? All right, let's get back to the episode. Bro, I want to pivot a little bit. So we got a new segment on the podcast, bro, where I try to ask deeper questions to our guests.
Yeah.
To talk about some of the things that we experienced because we had a friend of a friend pass by suicide this year.
Condolences.
Yeah. And so my friend, that was that guy's friend, reached out to me. He challenged me to have more conversations around these things, even though we already do, but just more conversations. And so my way of accepting that challenge is that every single guest that I have on a podcast, I ask them a set of questions to get deeper into some of these topics. Right. So are you cool if we get a little deeper?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So my first question to you is, have you ever experienced depression and suicidal ideation?
Yes.
And if so, when and how?
Once when I was between the ages of 14 and 16, again when I was in grad school. The first time I felt, and this is the reason why when I have so many conversations around men's, how it is that men respond when they are rejected by the patriarchy, we tend to only contextualize it in the sense of violence in the community and not necessarily violence to the self. It was not just about me being unattractive. It was the feeling that I was not worth being attracted to. And I think those two things are different. That's one, but also two, this perpetual feeling of being less than or not good enough, and not believing that my life would get any better than where it was at that point in time, right? I believed that it would be easier for me to die than to continue doing the labor to continue to live. But what stopped me was understanding, and I did not have the words to put to it, but it was an innate understanding at the time that my decision would impact more than just me. So I read a quote about suicide that said that the pain does not dissipate, it's just transferred to the people around you. And, that was the other ace that I missed, having a parent or somebody in the household die by suicide.
Wow.
The second time I had suicidal ideations was in grad school.
Okay.
And I don't think I've ever told anybody this really. She was just overwhelming, dog. Like, I was in a relationship at the time that required a lot of my energy.
Okay.
And I felt like I was consistently doing things wrong. I was smoking a lot of weed at the time. And I did not put together how it is that was impacting my mental health. Down in Tallahassee, Florida, on Park Avenue, I believe, there is a creek bridge. And every time I drove past that bridge, I would congratulate myself for not getting out of the car and jumping off of it. Every day for like Like 3 months? Yeah, G, 1000%. And to this day, that's the reason why I say, like, I don't want to own a gun. I don't want to be close enough to something that will give me the ability to end my life in a moment where I forget that my life is worth living.
So would you say you're still experiencing suicidality?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nah, I'm chilling now because, like, I say to myself all the time that 10-year-old me will be fascinated by the person who I become.
Mm-hmm.
Be fascinated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even down to, like, when I was when I was out here engaging in, like, ethical non-monogamy and, like, being, how can I say this? Being heavily perceived as attractive.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And being able to navigate in those spaces in such a way where it's like, yo, like, oh shit, like, damn, like, motherfuckers really out here move, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, 10-year-old me would be, or like, even to the point where it's like, there were some, how can I say this? There were some ways in which I reaffirmed myself that were very much so, like, while it was transpiring, I was like, yo, 13-year-old me would be like, damn, this is really happening. Mm-hmm. So suicidality, not so much now. There are times where I experience situational depressions.
Okay.
I do experience a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
Existential anxiety mainly.
What is that?
Existential anxiety is anxiety that literally comes from existing.
Okay.
And what it means to be as a human being.
Okay.
There are times where I do experience, I wouldn't necessarily call it body dysmorphia, but my relationship with my body has been the largest source of my perception of self-worth for as long as I can remember. I don't always feel comfortable in my body, G.
Okay.
I don't always feel comfortable in my body.
Why is that?
Being fat is not always the most humanizing experience.
Okay.
In a society that values vanity and thinness as a measure of not only just beauty but worth.
Right.
Having my body consistently be contextualized as a joke.
Was there a lot of, like, bullying growing up around your body?
Yes, and
Okay.
from the dudes, I ain't care as much because motherfuckers was stupid, so I ain't care.
Right.
But from girls, it impacted me in such a way where it's like, if I am not physically or sexually attractive to you, then I am disposable. Mm-hmm. I am not a factor. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. From men, it didn't really start kicking in until, like, I get asked the question all the time, do you play football? Right? Okay. So I'm big, but I'm also strong. Mm. Right? Do you play football? This is that and the third. Woo. I've played football. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
Right? Being of large stature and non-athletic is a very puzzling experience for a number of people. Like, to say to somebody with a straight face, I would rather read a book than throw a ball, because being in spaces where there's a bunch of people screaming and hollering, it's a lot of stuff going on. Like, once again, I have ADHD. It's dysregulating. Mm-hmm. I come from a household where my father used to yell a lot, so it dysregulates my nervous system. I don't do well with people screaming at me. I don't do well with people giving me half-ass instructions and then getting mad when I don't do completely what it is they're asking me to do. Mm-hmm. So that sense and that feeling of rejection from my male peers in the sense that because you do not fit this mode of masculinity, you, once again, like your worth is questionable.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not like that was the totality of my experience, but it was a large part of it, right? So my intelligence in a lot of different ways became my security blanket. My intelligence became my security blanket, and it became the script to the performance for my masculinity until I began examining how it is that somebody called me an intellectual bully before, and I had to sit with that. I was like, damn, well, I wouldn't have to be an intellectual bully if motherfuckers wouldn't
Bullying?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have to be an intellectual bully if motherfuckers weren't bullying me. But on the other side of that, I think that being a man, a black man, competency is very important relative to the concept of self-image and self-worth and self-esteem. The spaces wherein which black men can show, black boys can display their competency is very limited. And if you are not seen to be competent in these areas, then once again, the deficit model is readily available to contextualize your disposability. And once again, how does that impact the socio-emotional development of a young black man? How narrow and how tight is that tightrope?
Damn, bro. Was there ever a time in your life where you felt deeply misunderstood?
Hell yeah. To this day. to this goddamn day. So I say this a lot. The amount of intelligence and comprehension that I display on my platforms is only about, at the maximum, probably about 20 to 25% of the actual ability that I have to comprehend and implement in terms of intelligence. And the reason why I say it like that is because, once again, to protect myself from these feelings of low self-worth and low self-esteem, my intelligence became my security blanket. But after it was done being my security blanket, it then became my sword and my shield, right? So if I perceived you as a threat, I would make you feel very stupid. I would speak to you in such a condescending way that you would begin to question your self-worth. You would begin to question how it is that you engage in the world, right? I can fix being fat. You can't fix being stupid. You are in my eyes, you are perpetually deficient. And there is nothing that you can do to change your perpetual deficiency. Once again, I can lose weight. You can't gain intelligence because you refuse to read. And even if you do read, when we call on you in class to read, you stutter. You're a fucking idiot. Who are you to speak to me when, if I stand on top of all of the books that you've read, you will be insignificant in my presence? Please stop talking to me, right? Even when I was not intending to be that way, people would respond to me from the perspective of the contextualization of anti-intellectualism in the black community.
Explain that.
I've never really heard that reading books is white people shit, or like speaking in that way is like for white people. What I've experienced is literally people applauding at my downfall. It's fucking crazy. I was in elementary school, and I'll never forget this shit. I was in elementary school, and we would do like essay competitions for, shit like, in Chicago, something called the Young Authors Competition. We would do stuff like that. And we had to write an essay for the local newspaper. And I forget how exactly it went. I think the newspaper either did a misprint or the person who announced the winner didn't announce it appropriately. So they came in, they was like, first prize goes to William Monquay, and everybody was like this nigga always winning shit, right? And second place goes to, I think it was always me and this brother named Kyle Davis, right? So they left. They came back, and it was like, oh, I made a mistake. Actually, so-and-so won first place, and Mr. Onquay won second place. The whole classroom erupted into applause, bro. I'm like, God damn. What the fuck? Yo! That's how y'all feel for real, bro? Hey, all right, bro. So I just sat at my desk, I got my brush and I just brushed my hair, right? That's one. Two, the shit happened again in college. Cause I went to a college preparatory high school. So I went from being a big fish in a little pond to an ocean with a bunch of big fish in it. Yeah. Shit was crazy, right? That did wonders for my self-esteem in a both a negative and a positive ways. Like high school was what I needed. But got to college, and I'm the type of motherfucker where it's like, bro, my mama paying for this. I gotta sit in front of it. I gotta do what I gotta do, right? Right. Bro, I went to a HBCU now.
Where you go again?
I went to get my bachelor's. I went to the Alabama State University. Okay. Founded in 1867 by the Mary Nine. And then to get my master's, I went to the illustrious, on the highest of seven hills, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, 1887. Wood. Yeah. But, no. So I'm in class and I'm doing my thing. Ooh, this is and the third. Motherfuckers in the back. Oh, this nigga always talking. We are in college. We are supposed to be engaging in didactic conversations about how to internalize, interpret, and process this information so that we can increase our ability to engage in professional discourse. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? What? So you mad at me because I know some shit? You mad at me because I'm intelligent, boy? Hey, fuck out of here, dog. Fuck out of here, bro. So I'll never forget. I love Dr. Mary Ann Joseph was one of my teacher crushes back in the day. I only had like
undergrad.
Yeah. Okay. Love Dr. Mary Ann Joseph. I am deeply moved and attracted to Black women who got their shit together. That's just me, right? So I go to Dr. Joseph and I'm like, Dr. Joseph, sometimes I feel like I don't know who it is that I am. I feel like I don't know myself. And she said, Mr. Hezekiah, I don't think you have a problem with understanding who you are. I think you know exactly who you are. I think you are concerned with how it is that you're going to apply yourself to the world. And I was like,
take me home.
I was like, yay, God, no, I'll marry you right now, right? But she, in that moment, all of like the feelings of being misunderstood were consolidated in such a quick continuum. It's like, yo, I have felt deeply misunderstood for such a long time because I've always felt that motherfuckers don't want to do the work to understand me because I am willing to walk through nuance where you want to stop at simplicity. And there are some things that I just, and it's not even from a perspective, because once again, the ego thing from high school, like it helped me to equalize myself. It's not even from a perspective of, I think that I know better than you, or I think that I am better than you. Other people will say that, and other people was like, nah, like you are like objectively better than a number of individuals. I get that. I understand that. But it's not even from that perspective. It's from the perspective of, gee, you want to invalidate my reality simply because it does not align with yours.
Mm-hmm.
You want to minimize what it is that I have read, researched, experienced, simply because you want to be right. Like, to you, and this goes all the way into the core wound with my father, you being right is more important than me being recognized. And I just can't fuck with that, G.
Right.
I just can't, right? So from that onus, I believe that in a number of different ways, I am misunderstood a lot by men because I do not wish to be illustrated from your frame of reference.
Have you ever experienced heartbreak?
Yeah.
What was the most significant heartbreak that you've experienced? If you don't mind sharing.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all good, bro. The most significant?
Mm-hmm.
My ex, when I was in grad school, we had taken a break and she was going back home and she asked me, well, I can't remember if she asked me or I made a decision, because I don't get into long-term relationships with women who I don't plan on marrying. That's just, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
She went home. She got pregnant.
Huh?
She went home because I was in Florida at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She went home and she got pregnant. Right?
Pregnant?
Pregnant. Mm-hmm. And shit threw me for a fucking loop. But that wasn't necessarily the heartbreak part.
We didn't hit the heartbreak yet?
No. It hurt, but that wasn't like the heartbreak part. The baby ended up passing away.
Oh man.
It was heartbreaking because I held on so tightly to her because I did not want her to die. There was a period of time where multiple times in a week, I would be on the phone with her and I would just make sure that she would not do anything to herself. It was just, she was consistently going through a lot of things back to back to back to back to back. And that was the heartbreaking part. Just consistently watching her experiencing these things and not knowing whether or not she was gonna make it, G.
So you're telling me y'all in a relationship, she went back home.
We took a break.
Oh yeah, I took a break.
Mm-hmm. And I told her, I was like, that is the only thing, because when she told me, bro, I shit you not, my intuition is something fucking crazy, my nigga. When she called me crying and already something in my mind was like, this girl got pregnant.
That intuition, bro. We don't tap into our intuition enough as men, bro. We be knowing. We be knowing, bro.
So I was like, when she told me, I was like, I need to call you back. I called my brother. I was like, yo, so-and-so got pregnant. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, is it yours? I was like, no. He was like, whoa. I was like, yeah, let me call you back.
Mm-hmm.
I called her. I called her back. I was like, I'm very much so the nigga. I'm like, I'm gonna rip off the Band-Aid. I was like, yo, when y'all was fucking, how many positions was y'all in? She was like, I don't want to.
Odi.
Yeah.
Odi. Brother.
Hold on, let me get to the point. I was like, when y'all was fucking, how many positions was y'all in? She was like, 2. I was like, so you had the opportunity to stop and think about what it is that you're doing and you decided to continue. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. Don't say shit to me. Because once again, you made this decision, even if I were to give you the benefit of the doubt to say that it was a mistake. You had the opportunity to stop doing what it is that you were doing, and yet you decided to continue.
Brother, I ain't gonna lie to you. You a different breed. Because when my shorty, when she cheated on me and she called me, she told, I said, oh, you asked. I don't need no more details. Mm-hmm. Don't say another goddamn word on this phone. Mm-hmm. I banged that phone so quick and threw my phone across the room. Mm-hmm. I don't need no more information.
Nah, Chief, I need all of it because that's going to let me know how angry I need to be. Right. I need all of the information because once again, going back to my intelligence being my security blanket, if I can intellectualize this emotion, is going to prevent me from crashing out. If I can intellectualize this, it will prevent me from crashing out.
That's where we differ.
There we go. Now, here's that, but that's the reason why I said that wasn't the heartbreaking part. It just hurt. The heartbreaking part was me walking her through the aftermath of these things to try to make sure that she was cool.
Right. And watching her
go through that entire process.
I got you.
It's like, because a number of, oh, that's what you get, da-da-da-da, woo. Bro, to get a phone call one day saying that the baby was born and get another phone call about 3 days later saying that the baby has died. And then turning around, going to the hospital, doing damage control, making sure that everybody's all right. And then hearing that somebody else that she was dealing with came and gave her alcohol just off. I'm like,
huh?
Yeah, bro, it was a lot going on.
Alcohol?
Alcohol, G.
After the baby passed?
Yes.
Bro, yeah.
So once again, it was, and then
we gotta do better, bro.
Making sure that after that, she was okay. And then knowing that there was a part of her that blamed herself.
I got you.
It's just thing after thing after thing after thing. And for me, like early in my career, one of my clients committed suicide. And the first phone call that I made was to her, and I was bawling.
I got you.
I was bawling. I was like, don't you ever leave me, G. And by this time, we were not even in a relationship. I was like, please don't check out on me. I'm talking about driving, barely can see the road. I'm just I'm everything that I had been feeling had just fell out. Right. So as an individual, I don't really experience heartbreak as much as I experience heartache. But that shit was a wild situation.
Nah, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Bro, thank you for sharing, bro. Thank you for even feeling comfortable enough to share, bro. I appreciate that, man. Because I feel like the reason why we have this segment on the pod is because there's so many men that, while your situation may be very specific, they may be going through something similar or something that they can relate. There's something that they can pull from your situation that they can relate to, bro. So I appreciate you sharing. The whole goal is for men to see themselves in you and us in the conversation and know that they're not alone, whatever it is that they're going through, bro. So with that being said, I got one more question for you, or two more questions, bro. What would you say to a black man that's struggling right now? It could be about anything. It could be about what you just mentioned. It could be about some of the things that we talked about earlier, from patriarchy to male loneliness syndrome or the male loneliness epidemic to, not feeling affirmed growing up, to not being able to access their emotions, to not being able to have, you know, the developmental requirements and things that they need as they grow up. Variety of different things. Whatever it is that comes to your mind or your heart, your soul, as you think about it, I need you to say that and speak to the camera, speak to them, not to me, because they're the ones that need to hear it, bro.
You are worthy. You are worthy. There's a Black woman who I love dearly. Her name is LaVon Briggs. And we have shared a number of intimate moments together. And her spirit is just so warm and tender. And whenever I say thank you to her, she says, you're worthy. As a Black man, that does something to my spirit because I don't believe that we hear that often enough. Brother, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. From the heart of a Black woman, through the spirit and the mind of a Black man to another Black man, brother, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worth it. You are worth the effort. You are worth the love, bro. You are worth the love. You are worth the love.
My brother. Tell the people where they can find you, how they can tap in with you.
Yeah.
Anything you got coming up, bro.
All right. Please. So, once again, good people, great people, guys, people. It's your boy, Professor Odi. You can find me on Instagram. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to TikTok because TikTok pisses me off. But you can find me on Instagram at Professor. I don't know if it's dot or underscore. It's one of them.
I think it's dot.
It's dot, yeah. Professor.Odi. You can find me on YouTube. My podcast is called The Antidote. Professor_Odi. You can also find me at www.professorodi.com if you're interested in becoming a client. If you are in the state of Pennsylvania, you can become a therapy client. If you are outside of the state of Pennsylvania, you can become a mental health and wellness coaching client. My specialty is teaching my clients how to be selfish so that they can disrupt trauma patterns, improve their overall quality of life, and learn how to put themselves first without feeling the guilt and the shame of doing so. I also am a healer in the Express Yourself Black Man Safe Haven for Black Men. We meet every first and third Tuesdays of the month, and we get in there and we do fantastic work. I got brothers who've been coming to them sessions for a year and some change. So how long have we been doing this?
Bro, we've been doing this for like at least 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
It's probably 3 years, bro. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, G.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get Kizzle to do like a conference or something like that. But we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. But
talk about it.
That's where y'all can find me, man. Y'all can find me wherever it is that you find your favorite content creators. I'm probably in there somewhere. I probably either done been on a couch, done been stitched in a content. That's where you can find me, G. That's where you can find me.
And it's Professor.Odi. I just checked.
Professor.Odi on Instagram, Professor_Odi on YouTube, www.professorodi.com. Brand new website. I just put all my stuff back up because once again, transitioning back into doing the mental health and wellness coaching and the therapy full time. Once again, if you are in the state of Pennsylvania and you are insured in the state of Pennsylvania, you can come to me to receive therapy through Full Being Services, which is a Black-owned, Black-operated private practice in the city of Philadelphia. Or if you are outside of the state of Pennsylvania, you can come and find me, www.professorodi.com, mental health and wellness coaching. And my specialty is teaching my clients how to be selfish so that they can disrupt trauma patterns, improve their quality of life, and learn how to finally put themselves in their authentic spaces first without feeling the guilt and the shame of doing so. Basically, I want to stop you from people pleasing. I want to assist you in understanding how to please yourself. Because once again, if you are a people pleaser and you are a people, that pretty much means that you should also be pleased.
My brother,
Yeah.
this has been a classic. I told you I was going to be a classic. Man. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you are planning an event or you are part of your organization's Black employee group and you are interested in having dope Black mental health professionals or myself come in and do a speaking engagement or a workshop or a keynote address or a panel, please click the link in our bio on Instagram or TikTok, scroll down and click book us for speaking and brand deals and fill out the form available on our website. Once you fill out the form, one of our team members will get back to you about how we can collaborate and create something dope for your organization. This is an unparalleled opportunity. We are currently the largest Black men's mental health platform, and we have a few slots available for our calendar year, and we would love to partner with you to create something dope for your organization if it makes sense for both parties, right? So go to the link in our bio, scroll down, click book us for speaking and brand deals, and fill out that form. If you're not on Instagram, the link should be linked in our description of this episode. And it is also on our website. If you go to expressyourselfblackman.com/speaking-brand-deals. That's expressyourselfblackman.com/speaking-brand-deals. If you are looking for a therapist, a Black therapist, and you've had a hard time finding one, you've jumped from therapist to therapist, or you just don't know how to find a therapist, we are teaching a free webinar. It's completely free, taking you from not knowing how to find a therapist, not knowing where to search for therapists, struggling with finding good therapists for you, not knowing what to look for in therapists, teaching you all of those different things, and also giving you the opportunity at the end of the webinar to be connected with one of our safe haven healers who are Black mental health professionals so that you do not have to go through the struggles of finding a Black therapist alone anymore, right? So if you're interested in that, you want to get connected with a Black mental health professional at the end of the webinar, or you just want to learn how to find a Black therapist by yourself, you can sign up for the free webinar. It's linked in our bio on Instagram and TikTok. You just click that free webinar link once you click the link in our bio and fill out the form. You can also find it on our website at expressyourselfblackman.com/links and fill out the form there for our next webinar session. If you're not interested in any of that, right, but you know someone that may be interested in it, all we ask is that you please share it. If you want some of the merch that we show on the platform all the time, that we're wearing on the platform all the time, you can shop it at shop.expressyourselfblackman.com. And once again, we just want to say thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for supporting us. Please, if you are on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe, comment. If you're listening to this on an audio platform, please leave a review. It helps us out greatly. Thank you so much for your support. We're wishing you nothing but the best and sending you and your family and your loved ones love and light. Peace.
Sometimes I know you feel like you ain't got nobody to speak to. A shoulder to lean on, somebody you could preach to. No, you need to hear it, my brother, I love you. We got way too much to live for.